This story is important. If you follow my channel, you probably understand why it's important. Uh, the dollar is called the petrodollar. It's not called the petrodollar for nothing. Everybody out there says all these things, like they say the dollar is a fiat currency and it's not backed by anything at all. That's not true. The dollar is actually backed by oil. Uh, Going back to Kissinger, OPEC, they put this deal in place where the oil could only be sold in U.S. dollars. And so from that point forward until now, the dollar has been backed by oil. The dollar is a world reserve currency, and all of the other currencies on Earth are backed by the U.S. dollar. So, in essence, all of the currencies on Earth are not really technically fiat. They're actually backed by the US dollar, and the US dollar is backed by oil. And that's because this whole world, the whole world's economy, is all oil based. The trucks won't run without oil. The produce that you eat from the store, your vegetables, you say, well, my vegetables aren't made out of oil. My apples I buy, they're not made out of oil. Yes, they are. It takes oil to produce everything. It takes diesel fuel to run the tractors that run the farms. Everything. Your shoes are made out of oil. Your hat's made out of oil. Your hairspray's made out of oil. Your shirts and clothing you wear is made out of oil. This world runs on oil, and the United States dollar is a representation of oil. It's the petrodollar. And so why this story is important is because the timing of the demise of the US dollar has everything to do with the price of oil. They've kept the US dollar strong by keeping the price of oil suppressed. And that's why the US dollar has been so strong. Now, if the US dollar index falls below 70, there's going to be a massive depreciation then. 70 is the marker on the US dollar index. And right now, the US dollar, it's been as high as 103. And the reason why it's been up that high is got everything to do with oil being down as low as $29 a barrel. But now the price of oil started to bounce back. And the reason why it bounced back to $54 is got everything to do with oil, OPEC doing production cuts. OPEC timed the production cuts, and they had this in mind when they timed the production cuts. They timed the production cuts in line with the Permian oil basin in West Texas declining. And this is what they had going through their head, OPEC, when they timed the production cuts. But there's been a fascinating little thing happen. As the oil prices went back up a little bit, you remember a while ago it was in the 40s, now it's back up into the 50s. As the price of oils went back up, look at what's happened. I'm going to read it to you right now, and this is why this is so important. U.S. oil rig count climbs for the fourth straight week. The count of active oil rigs in the United States rose again this week by 8 to 591. The count is up for a fourth straight week. It's 80% higher, the count, than in May of 2016. And it's at its highest level since the week of October 23rd, 2015. So the oil rig count's going up now that the price of oil is rebounding a little bit. The United States is proving to be more resilient than OPEC thought. And if you read down here a little bit, it says the resilience of U.S. onshore oil supply in the face of lower prices demonstrates the profound technological transformations witnessed in the shale industry. A robust U.S. production now threatens to undermine efforts by the Organization of Petroleum Export Companies, in other words, OPEC, and some non-members to reduce the global supply of oil. So what's happening is OPEC was trying to time it right with these production declines, but the United States proved a little bit more resilient than the OPEC thought. And this is what's going to be the result of this is the dollar is actually going to retain strength a little bit longer than I thought it was. And that's why this is so important. The timing of the whole dollar collapse, the upcoming dollar collapse, is tied into this right here. that's tied into this. And so because the United States is being more resilient than I thought it was going to be, the timing of the dollar collapse might be a little bit later than I thought. This might move it ahead a little bit. Maybe I don't know. It might move it ahead 6 months or something further along, um, because of this event right here. Because the dollar is not going to collapse as long as oil prices stay down. You have to understand this. The dollar is going to collapse when oil prices skyrocket. It's got everything to do with the U.S. dollar and the dollar index. That dollar index has slowly slid from 103 down to around low. Let me just check and see what it's running right now, because I haven't checked it yet today. Dollar index. Let's go to spot rate here. Oh, she's back up to 100.8 right now. So she was 99 something. The dollar index has climbed just a little bit. Now, what you have to understand is that decline from 103, and this is the effect. Right here is the effect. They're onto this. They know that the price of oil is probably going to drop just a little bit. Maybe not appreciable, but just a little bit, because of these new rigs coming online. The United States is going to hold the oil price down. As long as that oil price is held down, the U.S. dollar is going to be held up, right? And so there's a direct correlationship here. You're starting to see it. It's the dollar is also tied to gold and silver, but there's three things it's actually tied to: gold, silver, and oil. But oil's the biggest, by far the biggest thing it's tied to. See? So if you get all three moving simultaneously, all three going up, oil, gold, and silver, then the dollar's going to tank. And see, when the dollar tanks, that's when you're going to see gold, silver, and oil going up. It's an inverse relationship. So this move right here is going to keep the dollar strong a little bit longer than I anticipated. But ultimately, it's only a stay of execution. This isn't going to last forever. The West Texas, because if you understand how shale oil plays work, you'll understand that they're short-lived play. They're short-lived oil play. They don't last forever. They're not as long of a duration as the original wells that they dug when they first found these oil basins. They were big pools of oil. And back then, they didn't have shale oil technology. They find a big pool of oil down there. They put a needle. They put the wellhead down, its casing down in there, and the pressure would be so great it would shoot the oil up into the air, and it would spray all over them, and they'd all be soaked and drenched. And they'd yell, "We've found oil! We've got it! We found oil!" And they're all excited, running around. And you see pictures of them doing that. The oil would spray up hundreds of feet into the air, the pressure, and they didn't even have to pump it. It was under such pressure when they first went there. Those are great big pools of oil down there that they could just tap right into. Well, they sucked all them up, and now all that's left is the old tar that's stuck to the old rocks down the bottom of the old pool. Well, now they've learned how to put steam down in there and loosen some of that up so they can get it up. That's the shale oil technology. So what they're getting is leftovers. It's kind of like a fat kid goes into the hamburger joint and he gets himself a strawberry shake, and he sucks it all out, and there's nothing left, and he leaves the cup there, and his little sister comes along, she dips her finger down in, and she gets the leftovers. Well, that's what they've been doing with the shale. They've been getting the leftovers from them old pools of oil that was there a long time. Those leftovers aren't going to last like the original pool. They're going to dry up a lot quicker. So OPEC thought that this was going to happen quicker, and they timed it, but they're off a little bit, see? And this bouncing back a little bit more than they thought it was going to. The oil plays. So the U.S. oil rig count is bouncing back a little bit. And that's because the price of oil is going up. So they're right in there to get some more. So that's it for now. And thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I enjoy doing these videos and trying to keep you up to date on what's happening right now in the world. Bye-bye for now.